just kind of glance around at the beauty that this building captures for us. In spirit, there is no time and there is no distance. And if we think about the Spirit, if we're aware of the presence of Spirit in this room, there are 114 years of experience, 114 years of commitment and love and intention to grow and learn more spiritually. Janet met with a lady from the living room this week here, and the lady walked in and she said, "Oh, I just want to sit and absorb this presence." So many times we sing in this very room, there's quite enough of everything that we need. And I ask that each one of us just concentrate on that for a minute. We have enough love and compassion and empathy and acceptance. And let's take that, once you visualize that, once you feel that abundance of love that we have, let's take a moment and each one of us send that love out into the universe where there is so much pain, so much suffering, so much fear, so much violence. And we have enough in this very room to make a difference. Let's spend a moment or two and send that where it needs to go. Spirit knows. May we carry this ability and desire to share all that we possess as we go forward through our week. And so it is. Good morning, all.
Good morning.
Sometimes, in spite of our best efforts, we are challenged to accept and send out that peace, that love and joy that Patrick was talking about. I had an incident of that last Friday morning. As I was driving on Highway 101 toward a doctor appointment in Petaluma early in the morning, suddenly my left rear tire at high speed decided to disintegrate. And as I realized what was happening, I was already in the right-hand lane, fortunately. I was able to pull off onto the shoulder of that very busy highway just as a major portion of the rubber on that tire went zooming by me down the freeway. Oh, what bad luck, what frustration. I had left home to get to that doctor appointment early enough so that I knew I'd get there on time. But now I knew I wasn't going to make it. So I had their phone number, so I dialed, and I got through their exchanges to some place where I had to leave a message and it didn't take. Now I'm doubly frustrated. And so I decided, well, I better call AAA. They'll come out. They have in the past and helped me. And I called AAA, and I got hung up in their answering system, too. So there I am, triply frustrated. I'm angry, I'm frustrated, I'm in danger. Cars are whizzing by me right over here. But As Marianne Williamson says, behind every dark cloud, there is an ever-shining sun. Just wait. In time, the cloud will pass. I didn't have to wait. I'm telling you, as I limped off that freeway into that shoulder, I came to rest right behind a California Highway Patrol vehicle that has its lights flashing. I said, how did he get here so fast? Well, he was stopping and giving a ticket to another driver just in front of his vehicle. My good fortune. That guy was frustrated, but I had good fortune. And after he finished writing the ticket or whatever he did, he came to my passenger side window away from the traffic and said, "Do you have a spare tire?" I go, "Yeah." "Is it in the trunk?" "Yeah." "Can I get it out for you?" "Well, yeah, but I knew I wasn't going to go out there in the traffic and change that tire." And he says, "And let me call a company called," okay, where is it here? "The Freeway Service Patrol, FSC, and they'll come out and they'll put your tire on and there'll be no charge for you." I've never heard of this. Freeway Service Patrol. Now I know it. So I'm going, yeah, but how long will it? Oh, and I noticed a truck pulling up behind my car. And there was the Freeway Service Patrol. I mean, it was like 2 minutes. And he comes out and he says, "Set your brake." And so I'm sitting there in the driver's seat and he jacks up the rear end. He removes that tire, he gets the other tire, puts it on, lowers the car, then he comes up to a window and says, "Now, it's going to be dangerous you getting back out on the freeway, so let me back my truck up far enough so that you can see around me, and then you accelerate when it's clear and safe." And that's what I did. I couldn't believe it. I got to the doctor's office only 5 minutes late. They were glad to see me. I was really glad to see them. So, while some of you may not buy into the concept of a guardian angel, I am willing to accept that something or someone is watching over me on occasion and gives me some good help just when I need it most, like that FSP driver. So, I got from him a brochure. I'm going to leave it back there in the foyer, because not only did it ask for feedback, and I gave him very positive feedback, but it gives the map of the entire freeway system in the Bay Area. And there are other systems like this wherever you go in metropolitan California, that if you get into trouble, you dial 511 if you don't happen to have a handy CHP vehicle nearby. 511, ask for freeway assist, and they'll come rescue you. So, perhaps my being here is not a normal mini message, although there was some spiritual concepts involved in there. But you can construe this as a public service announcement. I am here to help, just like FSP. Namaste.
Man, give me back my menu.
Is that your menu?
That's the only one I got.
Well, you can't operate without a menu.
Wayne, thank you. I'd like to add one little thing to it that you may not have seen. I'm going to say, as you give, so shall you receive. And that's what you got, my friend. Amen. Thank you for sharing. Well, good morning, good morning. It's a gorgeous morning. I'm going to, is everybody comfortable? Okay. It's getting warmer. And I think to save the $50 or $75 that it costs to heat this up on a Sunday, I think from now on we'll not turn the heat on in the morning. Unless I see it's going to be down like 41 degrees or something. Then we'll do it. But I think from now on, make sure you bring a sweater or something. We'll try to open the doors before church and get some warm air through. But I think it might be time to where we don't have to preheat the sanctuary and we can just wear a sweater and be comfortable. Thursday morning.
Yes, we're meeting this Thursday.
This Thursday morning at 10 o'clock.
In the social hall.
Okay, in the hall. Uh, who here gets and reads the Inquiring Mind email? Okay. I'm going to ask a favor. I had a comment via email about the Inquiring Mind this week, and I called Vivian. Vivian wrote this. She wrote it in 2012, but I keep recycling the wonderful bits of wisdom she's shared with us over the years. And I called, you would have thought I got her an Easter basket, 2 bottles of excellent wine, and a chicken dinner all at one call. That meant so much to her that someone made comment. So I'm going to ask, please don't all go home and do it today at 1 o'clock. But as you see the Inquiring Minds, and it says Vivian at the bottom, maybe sometime in that week, give her a call and tell her you appreciated it, or make a comment if you're so moved. It would mean so much to her. And thank you. Who here is single? Anybody here single? I have great news. I have great news. For everyone except Ananda, I found a perfect website, a dating website for people of our age. And it's called metamuselmingle.com. And I'm sure you all want to take advantage of that. So, we had a wonderful board meeting this morning, chaired by our new board moderator, Janet Tonelli, and she did an excellent job. She only had to tell me to please be quiet twice. So I think she did well, very well. So, thank you, Janet. We have been offered to be given a tour at the living room. It's the shelter, mostly for ladies and ladies with children who need shelter and need assistance in Santa Rosa, in Greater Santa Rosa. And Janet had a wonderful meeting with, what's her name? Rebecca from there, as we gave them our tithe for this quarter. And Rebecca is the one who was here and sat here in the sanctuary, and she offered to give any interested people a tour of the living room. So if you are interested in doing that and seeing what the living room does, talk with Janet and we'll get something set up. And it's just, we're developing a great relationship with them, like we are with COTS and the Council on Aging. So always opportunities, always. Is there anything else that I ought to speak about? Oh, the cabaret, April 30th, 5 to 7, free cabaret, the Bluebirds, best classic folk rock band in the county, 2 years in a row. And they are going to give us a huge discount and come and play for the little pittance that we offer them. But they love playing here, so they're going to be here. So bring your cheeseburgers, deli, hummus, casseroles, whatever you want to bring them on the 30th and have a wonderful evening of listening and dancing and singing along and just having a good time. So 30th April. Any other announcements? Any at all?
The baskets back there, we have till the end of the month before they need more, so take your time. Don't forget to take care of the church first, because we got to keep the power on. And just a friendly reminder that the barrel over in the hall for Noah has not really had a whole lot of attention lately. So if you have a little something extra in your pantry, toss it in there, and then when it gets full, let them know. We usually do that, and you have to give them a call around potluck time. Thanks.
Okay. And just to follow up on that, this morning when I got here, there was a store bag, a plastic store bag with a knot tied in the top of, with 4 or 5 cans of something, food. So I put them in the Noah barrel. So thank you for bringing that up. Yes, Joel.
I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Janet and Gloria, and also Justin. You probably talked about it last week, but we went over to Chippecott's. Yeah, to Janet Lake. Yeah, and Gloria. We helped just clean a bunch of stuff up so that the lake facility can be ready for new families to attend. So that was really great.
Thank you. And to follow up on that, they took pictures, and I don't know if you got any pictures. If you did, forward them to me, but they're supposed to send pictures. We got a picture of when we took the 3 welcome baskets down. When we get the pictures of the work party, then Wayne's going to send out a little Walk in Our Talk newsletter special and let everybody know. And it's just the acknowledgement, the awareness that we are participating, and it feels really good. So thank you to all of you who do that, and it just keeps it all going. Any other announcements? Let's stand up and sing an old favorite. Morning Has Broken, number 6 in the Wings of Song. Now time to greet each other however you are comfortable in the traditional Church of the Oaks fashion.
plays piano, which is very soothing. It can become very complex.
How about a big deep breath? Aren't we fortunate to have each other? Really. We've got this amazing little family here, and every one of us is unique. We've got some of the doggonedest habits and personalities of anybody's in the world, but we blend together so perfectly because the fit is in spirit where there is no separation. Let's read together our affirmation of abundance, please. When we choose to give, if our gift is inspired by gratitude rather than obligation, we are manifesting the power of the divine and the spiritual principle of abundance. May we ponder that a moment. As we prepare ourselves for our practice, let's sing together, Be Still and Know That I Am God, number 69 in the wings.
Good morning. That stillness is sinking in already. I think that will be a big part of our practice. But today I wanted to bring another practice that I learned years ago in a yoga class in San Francisco. And afterwards I talked to the teacher. I said, that sounds like the kind of intuitive training that I've been doing. And she said, yeah, no, I've been doing that too. I did it before I got yoga certification. And it's such a wonderful illustration of that in this very room concept. All that we need is here. Because what we're going to do is just take a moment to take a couple deep breaths. And as we do so, imagine a ball of golden light floating above your head like a shining sun. And this ball of golden light has divine intelligence, has all of those frequencies of healing that we may need right now in this very room, right above each of our heads. Now, the invitation, if you're up for it, is to stand up for this next part and to the extent that your shoulders will allow to kind of reach up as I do. But as we picture this ball of energy above our heads, we can, if we wish, stand up, and now reach your arms up and see if you can actually grab hold of it. And kind of notice it has a certain presence there above your head. You can kind of feel it. And with a deep inhale, you're going to imagine that you're holding on to it, and then as you exhale, you're going to bring it down into your body and your energy field, knowing that it has everything you could ever need energetically already in it. Let's do that a couple more times. And again, totally optional if you're able to reach up. If you're not, it's no problem, you can just imagine it. Take another big bright sun of divine energy and just bring that down into your body. Just letting it fill up any places that need some love right now, need some healing. Wherever it needs to go, and now again a third ball or sun of light appears above your head, and just gently take hold and or imagine yourself doing so and pull it down. Slowly feeling it go someplace new this time. And all the way down to your feet. And realize that this is something you can visualize or physically do anytime when you need a boost. For all we could ever need is always in this very room with us, if we can just receive it. Let's take a moment in stillness and silence now to sit, or if you wish, imagine inhaling more of this light. You can sit down, you can stay standing. Just let it in. And with your next breath, just feel the gratitude in your heart for everything that you've always wanted and needed being right here today. Namaste.
Thank you, Natalie. Thank you, Debbie. Come ye apart a while. Sounds kind of biblical, doesn't it? You know where that comes from? It comes from the 6th chapter of Mark. Mark is an interesting chapter. We don't teach Bible here, but most of us probably had a lot of Bible conditioning and Bible in our past. And I thought that in this hustle bustle time we live in, maybe it's time to talk about and remind ourselves to come apart a while. Seems like these are the busiest times, craziest, most in history. But not so, actually. There's nothing different going on today than went on 2,000 years ago. I'll tell you a little story about this come ye apart a while. Jesus said that to his disciples when they had been out on a teaching service all over. They all went in different directions in a pair, and they all came back, and the crowds were following them. And Jesus said, well, come ye apart a while. You're coming and going to the point you're not even taking time to eat. And they tried to get away, and the people just followed them, and that's where this one little chapter in Mark, that's where they fed the 5,000 with 5 loaves and 2 fishes. That's what, right after John the Baptist had his head cut off, and that's when Jesus walked on the water when they had come apart to just relax. So even 2,000 years ago, it was crazy nuts, day to day. They didn't have televisions, cars, they didn't have the internet, they didn't have, but for their style, for their time, it was just as crazy and nuts. That's the plan of life. That's the reality of living on this world as a human being. It's always crazy and nuts. So we have to make intention. We have to choose to come apart for a while and just be present right here and now. They did a survey that what was it? The average person in this country, man, woman, and child, is staring at a screen of some kind 4.5 hours a day. Do you know what that does? How much connection with your inner self, with peace and tranquility and just spirit. How much connection does that afford? Probably not much. They did a study I was reading, New York, New Jersey. They took all the devices, no television, no phone, no computer, away from a group of high school students for 72 hours. It was like cold turkey getting off of drugs. They had withdrawal. They acted out. They went nuts. They were that addicted to that screen activity. And I think maybe we're kind of that way too. I've said several times here recently, we are so connected. We got to watch the news. When we get a text, we have to answer it like in 12 seconds, or the world will end for sure. Will it? You know, they had these same pressures 2,000 years ago, and probably for 1,000 or 2,000 or 4,000 years before that. When we come apart a while, first thing we think of is meditation or yoga. And today, there's so much talk about mindfulness, and that's being present in this very moment. And there was the other number I wanted to think. Our mind wanders about. They say that our mind wanders 47% of our waking hours. 47% of that time, our mind is just going nuts somewhere else. We're thinking about the past, the future, what we did, what was I going to say next, what am I going to cook for dinner tomorrow night? I should stop it. There is no peace in that. And we live by calendars now. We have to have stuff written down months ahead of time so we make sure we show up, and we've got 2 hours and 14 minutes here and 3 hours here and an hour there. We've got 45 minutes, so we really hurry. We can stop and pick up a 6-pack of Coke on the way home. Come ye apart a while. I'm going to try a little exercise. Wherever you're at right now, put everything out of your mind and wiggle your toes. Wiggle your toes. Do you feel the little toes going back and brushing against each other, bumping up against the top of your shoe and the bottom of your shoe? Can you feel that? Concentrate on your wiggling toes. Even if you've got lactose intolerance. That's bringing up the past. We're supposed to be focused on the now. Feel your toes wiggling back and forth. Now, stop. Put your thumb and your index finger together. If you look at those fingers, they're kind of all wrinkly and ganeshed up from doing work. But when you touch them and you concentrate, you just move them. It's smooth, smooth, smooth. That's the only movement in the world in this moment is your finger and thumb moving against each other. That's this moment. You are in this moment, moving your fingers and your thumbs, feeling that. In front of each one of you, there is a Wings of Song hymnal. Would you look at it and get it out of the rack? Don't open it, just look at it. Those have been in those racks for 18 years. Have you ever been totally aware of what you are seeing and using every Sunday for 18 years? Inside that hymnal, it is a unity hymnal, by the way. Open up the front cover and you will see a blessing by James Dillett Freeman. You've never seen that before. I read that blessing when we first got these hymnals 18 years ago. I'd like you to read the second little paragraph or statement. May there be beauty in this place, but especially may it be a place where men and women become aware of the beauty themselves. Think this moment of the beauty within you, your love, your compassion, your caring, your acceptance. You have lived through so many experiences, and you could be so bitter and so wounded, but here you are, sharing your beauty and your time and your talent and your thought and your treasure. And how could anyone ever tell you that that's not beauty? These moments that we have where we can choose to shut off the world, come apart from the hustle and the bustle, and it'll be there when we choose to rejoin it, I promise you. And just be aware of what is going on in your life. Be aware of the people you are in contact with. William Clark's most outstanding quality that I've tried to develop for myself, and I'm not doing that great a job, but when you talk to Vivian Clark, she looks you in the eye and she is totally present with you with no interruptions. She is engaged in the moment in you. She asks you pertinent questions, she allows you to answer, and she listens. She is in that moment as she engages with you. I think we could all use improvement in that area. And unless we give some intention to it and shut off the busy, busy, busy monkey mind and pay attention and choose to engage, we're missing a lot of this beautiful thing we call connection with each other. We have so many responses and reactions that are just rubber stamp. Same old, same old, same old. If we engage in our conversations, when we see each other, I'm going to see if I can feel the energy coming from Debbie and Sabrina. What is that energy? I want to feel it. And when that is your desire, and that is your intention, and that is your choice, you will. I want to listen to what Bonnie says. When I choose to listen to that and pay attention, I can learn something. And at the very least, I'm getting my minimum adult daily requirement of connection, of interaction. Not something we human beings have to have, or we go a little goofy. I can't think of anything that can help us each heal more than to come apart from the rat race and the hustle and the battle and all the drama and all the violence and all the pain and all the agony and all the crazy stuff, and just in meditation and yoga, it's about the breath. We like to call it our breath, but if we're most of us true to form, we can concentrate on our breathing. And when we're in a yoga class, or when we choose to be in control of our breathing, oh, we're so connected with these things going on in our body. But then we get a text, and we have to answer it right away. And if breathing were left up to us, we'd die, because we'd forget. We wouldn't have time to breathe. We wouldn't have time to pump the blood to all of our parts. Because our minds are running our lives. And where it should be just the opposite. Our intention should control our minds. As we think about our bodies, I heard an interesting lecture a while back, and it's Howard Zinn's brother, son-in-law. I can't remember his name, but anyway, he was at Harvard or someplace where smart people are at. He said somebody was talking about economy, and the less than desirable effect our global economy is having on human beings and our natural resources. And he said, you know, it's just like there's a thing called neuroeconomics studies. He said it's going back to our creation, our bodies. If we could develop an economy that matches how we are put together. Right now, it's like our economy is like, well, our heart is going to get all the blood, and that's the important part, so it's going to get 99% of the blood, and the 1% can be spread however it will to the rest of the body. Parts would start dying. Well, that's exactly what the global economy is like. A few people get all the money, all of the lifeblood for existing comfortably on this planet. It all goes to one place, and the rest of it starts to die slowly. And I think, wow, we could spend more time thinking about what's going on in our bodies. That is like a perfect example of peace, of working together, cooperation, of allowing this cooperation to give us security, competence, and health, mental health, and physical health. If we'll just take the time to be in this moment and to consider what's going on inside of me. It's miraculous. We take it for granted, but it's miraculous. And inside of us, what's happening inside of our bodies could be a model for virtually every social economic principle there is. All the systems. Because we certainly have different personalities and different thoughts. But we're amazing creatures that have existed for a very long time. And certainly not by the result of our own intelligence and decision makings. We came from the factory, designed to last a lifetime, whatever that is. So I ask that all of us maybe write it, I don't know, stick a little piece of paper on your bathroom mirror. Mornings are a good time to come apart for a while. When you get up in the morning and go in the bathroom and look in the mirror, come apart for a while. Take a little quiet time. Start your day, just even for a couple of minutes, realizing how beautiful each one of us is inside. We are designed by something way beyond human capacity to understand and know about. And we have all of this at our disposal. We can take this beauty and this perfect set of working parts. Our brain alone has 86 billion neutrons in it that change all the time. I can't even count that high. And there's like, what, I don't know how many trillions of cells in the body. And they all get along. They all get along, and the only time they don't is when we mess it up, because we've made a choice based on ego or greed or anger or frustration. Take a moment and come apart from the chaos. It'll be there waiting for us. It's been going on for thousands of years. We don't have to worry about it. It'll be there. And I think we are so much better able to deal with it if we start our day knowing we possess all that we need, all of the wisdom and all the ability to accept, and wise enough to discern, not necessarily judge, but discern what comes up in our day-to-day lives. And take the time to really engage with the moments in our day, those conversations with people. Those are perfect, beautiful creatures. Why wouldn't we give them our utmost attention? We expect that of them when we want to say something. Are you all paying attention to Patrick this morning? I certainly hope so. Well, don't you want me to pay attention to you as well? We can calm down our lives. We have that power, that ability. If once in a while we just reconnect with our source, with just this moment, and learn how to shut off the chaos. Turn off the screens, turn off the speakers, turn off the phones. We don't need that stuff to survive. We need each other. We need to love and be loved. And I think we need to be aware of that. And if we're too busy, we'll miss so much that life has to offer. Well, if I haven't given you enough to think about today, come on back next week. I will continue to give you things to think about, however you choose. Let's stand and sing, I've got peace like a river.
You took my book.
Oh, I'm sorry, here. I took her book.